everybody, it's Iman Snow, and if you can see, you already saw in the thumbnail, but here we have...
AKASAN, aka S-A-N. Check me out on YouTube, of course.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know who he is, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But, right.
No. It's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. What are you gonna say? Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, I think. But yeah, I'm in Japan. That's pretty crazy, too.
She made it. She made it.
Yeah, this is my 4th time here, but now... meeting you.
Yes, and I did not know that. You've never, I think even the first time we met online a few weeks ago
I guess I did
for Wonder Woman, you never mentioned it about living in Japan or being in Japan.
No, so. I know. I don't say a whole lot of stuff that's going on in my personal life. I mean, I'm jet lagged. I'm very tired.
Yeah, she is tired, so I'm going to be easier on her today.
18 hours at this point.
Yeah, you have.
And I'm leaving tomorrow back.
Yes.
Or actually, you won't. I don't know when I'm uploading this. It'll probably be this
sooner
week.
Than later.
Yeah, very much so. But I'm very tired. So if I say anything loopy or crazy, it's because
you're tired. Yeah.
So I think the topic.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a little bit different because my video, I do reaction videos, I do reviews for movies. We sometimes do skits, sometimes vlogs and stuff like that.
Yes.
But because I'm in Japan and because you've lived here, you said 7 years.
Yes.
Right. I wanted to just kind of get your idea and kind of how, I guess it's like the difference between America and the Western world versus Japan.
In terms of what, relationships?
How relationships go and preference. In America, men are more into the physical shape, whereas in Japan,
you're right. Yeah.
It's characteristics.
True.
It's the face.
Well, it's funny because for Japanese men, a lot of it is not visual, or it is a visual situation, but it's in the sense that while more American men will prefer a nice body, lots of curves, that would be considered something fat out here.
Yeah.
Or be something unattractive, which gradually is changing. I have noticed in time. I have a few students who they go to the gym all the time, and they're like, "Oh, so what do you want?" They're like, "I want an ass. I want a butt like that." And they follow American Instagram models like that.
Yeah.
And so I spent my entire time talking about how she can get a bigger butt. Which I love my job, by the way. That being said, overall, but that's for women. The Japanese male preference, generally speaking, is going to be smaller, fragile, a little more innocent, a little more make me into your own type of character. It's kind of like create a wife, so to speak. That would be one way I would suggest it. It's just something that Japanese men, I think, are inclined to go after. It's I don't know, I don't want to say it's easier for them, but I think it's just more preferred, where something a little too aggressive might be a little too challenging, so to speak.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, I think that I agree. I'm not a Japanese male, so I don't know.
You're not?
You know? No,
okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
Surprise.
I've had many foreign I've had many foreign women tell me, foreign being not Japanese, non-Japanese women out here say that Japanese guys generally kind of just play around with them because they just want to kind of try it, see what it's like to be with a different type of a woman like that, but they're not really that serious. And at the same time, there's also the American complex.
Okay, what's that?
That would be that a lot of Japanese men have this subconscious concern that they may not size up the same way compared to their American counterparts. This is a big thing. This is a real story.
Is this the physical?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is among other things, but yes, very much the physical situation is. I've had this situation where my ex-girlfriends, who I have dated in Los Angeles, but have moved back to Japan or so, have actually told me that their husband or husband-to-be or whomever they're dating, when they find out that she used to live in America and date an American, and date a black man, they start to take a step back and they're like, so how was it, or something like that. So they get a little worried. Yeah, but you know, honestly, I can understand that though, because there is a bit of a, that's a bit of a, no, not even that, but that's a bit of a standard to live up to after that.
But how did we, well, that's true. If they were well endowed.
Right, if they're well endowed, but, you know, I don't go around checking out Japanese guys' junk, but overall I could see where that could be a big issue, basically.
That's interesting. I haven't heard it from that side.
Yeah, well, a lot of women are women that have spent time in America or spent time overseas.
Japanese women?
Yes, they do have that kind of issue going back to dating Japanese men, because they have that issue of like, damn, I don't know if I can measure up the same way type of deal. Love making in general, what age are we going for here? Because love making in general for older, okay.
I mean, maybe.
Good. I mean, love making in general for Japanese couples is very different compared to American couples, where we're going for, like, American will be almost straight to a little less foreplay and just straight into it, basically. Whereas Japanese couples, it's more about the foreplay. A good comparison or a good example would be kind of the same way where Grey Worm and Homegirl, Missandei or something, you know, that's the connection. Having a relationship in Japan is more about having a relationship in Japan to get married, to eventually have a family, and essentially just raising children. Where it's not about, once you start having that child, a lot of people will have sexless marriages. And they're fine with that, because it was never a big issue to begin with. People, Japanese guys weren't crazy about having sex.
That's a topic.
From the beginning. Are we?
No. That's another topic that, I mean, we can
go ahead by all means.
We can go into that, because I know that especially nowadays there's a lot of younger people that are not having sex in Japan, right?
Yes.
I don't know if it's for women and men equally.
I would say so. I think it's more for men, actually. There was a...
See, that's crazy.
There have been studies shown that it's like more men just prefer not to have sex. They just rather... Well... I think, generally speaking, and based on a lot of these surveys, it's just time consuming.
What?
Yeah.
No.
It really is. And this goes back.
Comment down below if you're a male.
A Japanese male? Yeah.
Oh, well, an American, or wherever you're from.
It's just time consuming.
Is sex time consuming?
Well, it is. I mean, I can understand this from a Japanese perspective, going back to the facts I was telling you about. 10, 15 minutes on foreplay, basically, like warming up. It's like waiting for a car to warm up in the dead of winter, basically. That is the deal that's going on. That's a lot of time. Again, for a lot of women, I think it's about connectivity, being closer, being more intimate. Whereas for men, it's just, I need to go to sleep soon. I need to work in the morning. Especially if you're a Japanese salaryman that needs to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning in a crowded train. You're just like, dude, I need to get this done with. Like, let's go. Like that. So I can see where that becomes an issue, especially in Japanese culture. What do you think about in America? Do you feel like it's inconvenient?
Oh, wait, what?
What? Having sex?
No, I think, no, never. It would never be inconvenient. I think, like, I don't see it like that at all. But that's my perception of it. And I think that, like, I can see sometimes being like, yeah, right now I have to wake up early. Or I have to do something, and like, I'm sorry, not tonight or whatever.
Right.
But when, like you said, with Japanese men, like, it's like this, it's a different mentality. Like, I think American men, or just even, I guess Western men, because I'm talking about everybody, like in Europe and everything, is very much passion. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You know, and like that connection, even men like the connection of having like another human.
True.
To touch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and not like, and I know Japan, or some Japanese men have like the dolls.
Right, I was about to say that, because there's such a passion and connectivity and sensitivity has been so synthesized and manufactured into a viable product in Japan. I can go right now to the red light area, or not even, the gamer, the nerd area of Japan, and pay some girl $20 to basically sit in her lap and just stare at her. Like,
yeah, I heard about that.
It's just a lap cafe, basically. Everything has been broken down.
Money.
You can pay people for sex. You can pay people just to lick your entire body. It goes for about $300. Two girls go to Gotanda, right down the street.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that everything has been. Every aspect of a relationship you can buy out here. And that doesn't exist in companionship. Is basically in a hostess bar, a hostess club, a snack bar. So it's all there. So it's something one of my friends told me, a Japanese man who I've known for a very long time, and him and his girlfriend, they finally got married, they had a kid and everything like that, and he was just kind of telling me, yeah, he just doesn't really have sex with his wife anymore. I mean, he has sex with other people, but he doesn't have sex with his wife anymore because that's the mother of his children. And that's your future right there. You start to look at it a little bit differently. It's an interesting concept, I know.
I've heard that.
But I can also understand that as well. So do
you think if ever, let's say, you ever had children, if it ever happened, do you think you would have the same mentality?
It's a good question.
That got deep. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a good, because I do think about that sometimes. I think of like whatever girl I'm ravaging today, you know. Is that going to change once it gets older? Because I have almost every one of my friends, in Japan is in a sexless marriage now. Once they had kids, they're in a sexless marriage. And those that are and those that aren't are having sex, just not with their husband. And this is actually from a woman's perspective too.
I would like to hear that. That is.
She's actually, for whatever reason, a lot of people I know, women who are married, are having affairs, or they're thinking outside just because they want to have that connection to someone else, or they want to have a connection from someone, but they don't necessarily need it from their husband anymore.
Is it because the husband stopped giving them that connection too? And so they just in turn...
in some form or fashion, it's not that uncommon for many husbands and wives to sleep in separate rooms or separate beds. It's very normal. And when I was a teacher for kids a long time ago, kids were drawing their bedrooms in their house, and I was like, oh, who's this? Oh, this is mom's room, this is dad's room. I'm like, wait, what? And I couldn't understand it in the beginning, and then people started telling me, yeah, they actually moms and dads sleep in different rooms all the time. And then some of my people that I know, they say, I'm like, these are wives, they're just like, oh, who do you sleep with in the bed? And I was like, oh, I just cuddle with my dog every day.
Oh, but like that's so sad.
It's just becomes the preference for some reason, you know. Even, you know, and I don't know if it has a lot to do with Tokyo. It might, I don't know. But even like sleeping in a bed, even nowadays, it's hot. It's inconvenient.
You know,
it's sweaty. You know, it's actually, I get a better sleep when I'm by myself because I'm alone by myself, and mentally I can be more focused and on my game for work. But obviously it is nice to have someone next to you, but especially in this humid summer that you were experiencing earlier today, that's all the last thing you need is a sticky ass body right next to you. So I can understand why some people, when they got to do their job,
I can see it that way too.
It's an interesting thing.
I just feel like it's more of a Japanese thing. Like, you don't hear this, it's not common in the Western world. Like, here it's common, like you're saying, all of my friends do that. And so, like, in America, that's like taboo. Like, an affair? Oh, that's, even though it's not, I know this country's not a Christian country at all, but even in America, it's like pretty not everyone's an atheist, but I feel like it's pretty like mixed. And
right.
depending on where you are in the country, it could be very much.
I believe there's actually more of a shame in America to cheat. Like I have this section on my channel called Ask AKASAN.
Oh really?
And it was one of those. It was actually one of those things. I was like, do people cheat more in Tokyo or America? And it just seems like actually people are more open to it for whatever reason in Tokyo. Like, okay, you're married, oh cool, you still want to do it, like that type of thing. And they're more open to that because of this situation where it's just, yes, the marriage is the partnership, but getting that bestial natural attraction to someone, it's okay to just do it. Just don't really talk about it, basically. And people are in their own kind of, almost like a swingers group, so to speak. People are so open about talking about cheating, or so open to doing it, that it's just kind of the norm, I've noticed, in Tokyo and certain other places. Which would be more of a shame in you would be shamed in America.
It's a negative
more.
thing in America. So I know I've watched videos too on if like people being interviewed in Japan and saying what's worse if your husband or wife is having an emotional affair or a physical affair. And in Japan they say emotional. Physical is okay.
Yeah.
They're more okay with it because it's not love.
I see.
So that's also very, like, in America it's like, I'm gonna stab you.
They did a poll, it's funny you mentioned that because last week I was reading an article about what are the attributes women look for the most in men, and that's basically to have a stable job, to be financially secure. And then they said, what would you tolerate more? Or which one is worse? An affair or a gambling problem or something like that. And gambling was actually the top one. Having an affair was like number 4, basically. So somebody would forgive an affair, would prefer some Japanese women would prefer their mate to go bang a hooker or their sister or whatever than go to the pachinko parlor and lose all their money like that.
Well, I mean, because that's pretty much all they're really getting at this point.
Yeah, you'd be very surprised how many people I know that they're basically in it for the money. They're in it for the financial security.
Women.
Yeah, that was basically that. Like a lot of people. Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, you're good.
No, I'm looking at my time. It usually cuts off at 29.
Well, goddamn. Okay.
No, then I have to like read.
All right. What else?
Let's go back.
In the words of Walking Dead, what other questions do you have for the king? By the way, can I just comment really quickly, because you guys don't really notice this so much on her regular videos, but Miss my little Pokemon, I had to remind myself, Iman is really, like, she does a good job on her body. She really does. I am trying to say this in the most gentlemanless way ever.
Okay.
I was very impressed. When I saw her, like, you guys don't see it, but maybe one day, look, I'm just saying, look.
If you're good.
Come here. What's the name of your fans?
That's something.
The snowflakes. All right, snowflakes.
The snowflakes, you guys. Yeah.
Hey, Frosties. Hey, Frosties, between you and me, you never know, she might start a Patreon account. And you for what, $5 a month, $10 a month, you might get to see all of this. She is someone who does she works very hard on her channel, and you should really try to support her. And you just never know. You just never know. Trust me, I'm a professional at this YouTube deal. I know how to turn that Patreon along. By the way, check out mine. Anyways,
I think this topic is really interesting because I've dated a lot of Asian men. So growing up,
that's why she cried so much when Glenn died. Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually a big thing. Yeah, I have a huge crush on him. No, but my first crush was a Chinese boy. And then there was Billy, who was white. But I was like 4. But I've always had like, and I'm.
Wait, you were 4 when you had a crush? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I was like, okay, all right, that was 4 guys. Okay, 4.
No, I was 4. I've just always.
How do you remember that, Sora? Okay.
I just do. I remember Billy. Yeah, have dated Japanese men, I've dated Korean men, I've had, and actually from Korea, like, and from Japan. The one thing that I've always heard, especially from like Korean men and Japanese men, was they always came up to me, and this is like the preference thing again, where it was, they would put their fist to my, no, okay, that's
the fuck?
They
what the heck? What? You fucking, this chicken is cold, bitch!
No, and this is not even, these are random people who I went to school with, right?
Put the fist to your face?
No, they said my face was really small. That's a thing. Like in the Asian culture, like he said one of his fists was my face or something like that. And I was just like, what? So like in Asian cultures, like this really small face and big eyes is like something that's like, whoa, you know, and like obviously sharp nose. I don't know. It's just I've heard it.
I'm just imagining like a balloon head.
I know, right? That's the weird thing.
Shit,
but that's in America. It's
or
not,
Stewie from Family Guy.
In America, that's not how it is. Like that's why I'm saying, like, when you see the body, you see the everything. But in Japan, it's like, or Korea, it's like, oh wow, like they look at very different things.
Okay.
You know, like even teeth, like crooked teeth here, too. Like that's a thing. That's like a, I don't know. It's like
I'm gonna say, but for that being said, the teeth thing, I have thankfully seen more and more of that fading out, actually. But teeth whitening and teeth straightening has become a bigger thing, thank God, out here.
I heard that people are getting the implants to have like a snaggle tooth.
No.
I heard, no, that's real.
That's bullshit.
No, that's
whoever
real.
Told you that is
no, it wasn't.
So whoever told you that,
no, that's real.
Yeah,
that's that. Google that.
What?
Google that.
Grills and such. Who's been better in the game, basically, for you?
I think that there is no really, like, everyone has like their weakness and strength. I don't think that there has been one person, like, I mean, right now I'm in a relationship and that person is like,
or one I'm saying, I guess particularly speaking, is when an Asian person picks up an Xbox controller, do they know exactly what they're doing? Is it the same as if an American person picked up a PlayStation controller? No, I got this X trying. They know exactly what to do, basically.
I think on both ends it can be, I think it's just hit or miss.
Okay.
I don't care. To be, honestly, I don't care. I just, if you're funny, you're smart, you get along with that person, but you also take time to like please your partner, and you want, and you're like attracted to that person, and you're like show it, on both ends. Right. That's enough. That's all you really need.
Well, okay. I mean, are we trying to wrap it up or do a part 2 or what?
We'll keep going. I think we can keep
Do you want to stop it and restart it?
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Part 2 on my channel.